and we would like to welcome you guys to the 23rd Martyrdom anniversary of Shahid Mazari. My Hazara nation is known for fighting the monster of terrorism. We have a long history of struggle and courage. We Hazaras are strong-headed people. We survived Abdul Rahman's masquerade in the 1960s when he took innocent lives of 60% of the Hazaras. Back in the past, being a Hazara was crime in Afghanistan. Calling yourself Hazara was a license to death. At that time, when Hazaras were facing the extreme level of frustration, low self-esteem, lack of self-confidence, anxiety, and a lot of insecurities, a leader rose amongst them. He was fearless and an intellectual. He was courageous and committed to the core. He was a visionary, seeing the future of Hazaras beyond the boundaries of time. He was the one who raised the slogan, "Being Hazara should not be a crime anymore." This was a milestone to the identity and the struggle to better the lives of Hazara people. He knew that life without pride and social equality is nothing but a hell to live in. He fought for this agenda throughout his life. Baba Mazari's mission became the aim of every Hazara, and it continues to this day. The legend and Hazara's beloved leader, Abdul Mazari, was born in the village named Charkent, Afghanistan in 1947. He got his early education from his native place and later on went to Qom, Iran, in order to become a religious scholar. After returning to Afghanistan, he became a key figure in the anti-Soviet movement. And soon enough, he found a party by the name of Hizb al-Wahdat. The point we must note here is that Baba Mazari lost his whole family in this struggle. This brutal act of political victimization took the lives of his father, his two brothers, and a son. When the resistance period was over, negotiations for making a government started. Baba Mazari claimed that Hazaras formed 25% of the population and that Hizb al-Wahdat was their representative. He demanded that 1/4 of the cabinet seats be given to his party. This was a really good step to get to the due rights of Hazaras in Afghanistan. He was negotiating with Taliban, and it was decided that none of his parties would hold any weapons and that the negotiations would be purely in peaceful environment. But nobody knew that this was a trap to kill the great leader of Hazaras, and not only, but also a great personality of Afghanistan. They captured Baba Mazari, the messenger of peace and solidarity. Political and ambassadorial efforts were made to release him, but all in vain. The enemies had made their minds to eliminate the leader of the poor. Baba Mazari, along his companions, were tortured and killed so brutally on March 13, 1995. Taliban's thirst for blood and their grudge against Shia Hazaras were not satisfied yet. So the father of the nation's dead body was dropped down from a helicopter. Taliban took the life of a leader, but they can't stop his message and his mission. Baba Mazari's martyrdom embarked a new era in struggle for equality and justice. He said, "No society can survive without equality, tolerance, social justice, and brotherhood." He was an intellectual. He grasped the questions that we should all keep in mind today. What is so important for us to build a modern Afghanistan for Shia Hazaras?
Afghanistan, where every person, regardless of what race he belongs, should be given equal rights to excel and live the best possible life. That's why we find him saying, "We do not care for one's looks or race. We only want that our people have a role in their political destiny." The people of Hazara Nation have infinite love and respect for Baba Mazari. He belonged from the most deprived nation of the world. He worked till last breath for them. The whole nation became saddened by his sudden dismissal. They were in trauma. Snatching such a dedicated leader was another act of cruelty. The heavy-hearted Hazara men carried his body on foot from Ghazni to Bamiyan, and then a helicopter flew it to Mazar Sharif. Carrying the body on foot between two cities was a demonstration of anger and grief the Hazaras were suffering from at the moment. The event was availed as a chance to show the peacefulness and innocence of a nation who lost their beloved father, their only leader. That's why he's called Baba. Highest Afghan government officials and representatives of every tribe attended the funeral. The enemies of Hazara nation took the life of their beloved leader, but they never knew that Baba Mazari left a piece of mission, his life motto on every Hazara soul. Despite all the hardships, Hazaras are progressing. They feel proud at being Hazara. Hard work and intelligence and education are their trademark. I think every Hazara is in debt to Baba Mazari until we do not pay our due roles and in uniting and building our nation bit by bit every day. We are a strong Afghan society that can continue to change its prospect for the future. Thank you, Baba Mazari, and all the other Hazara martyrs for the sacrifice you made for us. Thank you.
از دو جوان آینده‌دار و با ظرفیتمان تشکر می‌کنم که هنوز ریشه‌های فرهنگی خود را فراموش نکردند و هنوز به مردم خویش و به کشور خویش فکر می‌کنند و می‌اندیشند.